we just discovered a new kitchen problem. Let's take you on over there and we'll check it out. This is what we got going on right here. Little tiny grease ants. They're so small you can barely even see them. Look at that. I mean, here's my finger. Oops, here's my finger right here, my thumb. Look at how tiny those ants are. Anyway, those are called grease ants. And they kind of appear once in a while around your sinks, and they are going into a hole right there that they have created. You see a few of them crawling around on the windowsill, but they're in and out of a hole right there into the wall. What they do is they eat grease. So they go and they'll live in your stoves or underneath your cupboards, and right here on our sink when we drain our hamburger and stuff, we'll set a little cup right there with the hamburger grease and stuff in it. I went and moved it this morning, and lo and behold, there was a whole bunch of these little tiny bugs underneath there. So we went and got 2 different kinds of bait. You can use vinegar water, it'll kill them on contact and the ones that walk through it, but once it dries it's not going to kill them and it doesn't get into the nest. So we went and bought some Andro ant killing bait, kills sweet and grease eating ants, and some taro liquid ant bait. We're going to set both of those out right here and see if we can get those ants to go into one or the other of those baits so they can get it hauled into their queen and they can give her a nice dose. Alright, we're going to set these up. This is the taro liquid ant bait. It's just a liquid in them, and let's go and separate one. Okay, and then what you do is pop off the little cap and then you let it sit there, and then they climb right on in there and get to the baits. Yummy yummy. And then this one here is just like little closed containers, but it's supposed to attract grease eaters. The taro liquid ant bait, I dumped a little bit out around there, and there was actually probably about, here we go, 10 or 15 of them that went around it and started drinking the liquid, and then they started crawling up the wall to their nest. So anyway, I took a toothpick and took some out of that Andro ant killing bait and put on the end of the toothpick because it's more of a paste, and they haven't been as active around it, but they are, if you see, they are starting to move into it now. Hello. This is where those little tiny critters were. And right now there is none. It's been about 26 hours since we put out the bait. We put it out last night at 6 o'clock, and this morning we seen 2 ants crawling around, but none since. And both of those baits they were hitting and taking it up into their nest. So hopefully they've loaded up their nest enough, and so any new ones that hatch out will have their food supply right there and eat it and be done with also. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye on this area over the next week and see if any more come out, but probably in the last 10 hours there hasn't been a single one. So we'll check it again in another 24 hours and see what happens. Well, it's been 4 days after the we put out the bait. I can't say which one worked better because the ants went to both of them. They preferred the taro liquid, but they also went to that one after I put it out on a toothpick. So probably would have went to that eventually because they actually started hitting that bait pretty good. And the only ants we seen was the next day early in the morning. I seen 2 of them crawling. And now it's been 4 days after the bait, and we check all day and at night when I get up I check and make sure, and there has not been an ant since. So those baits work, and that is how you get rid of grease ants. And they're very, very hard to see. No telling how long we've had them there. It's just I ended up having a tin can sitting right there on the edge of the sink with some that I drained some hamburger the night before into, and I lifted it up and it had a whole bunch of little bugs underneath of it. So anyway, those baits work. I don't know if it was a combination or either one probably would have worked. They both kill ants. So bye y'all.